Well, this is an exciting day. Dr. Newman, faculty, parents, family members, friends, and honored guests. It is truly a privilege for me to share this special occasion with you this evening. I want to especially thank Professor Vivian Siskin, who actually invited me here. She's a very special person in my life. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a moment. And congratulations to all of you, the graduates of the School of Hearing and Speech Sciences 2017. Congratulations. Let me begin by saying that being a stutterer makes me especially nervous surrounded by so many speech therapists. You guys make an enormous difference in so many people's lives, but you also scare the hell out of me. Today I'm supposed to give you advice and words of inspiration, but before that I would like to share with you my story. I have to confess, though, that I've received so much bad advice from so many speech therapists that I feel maybe today is my turn of revenge. I want to thank my wife, Marjan, she's here, my daughters, and my brother and his wife. But I want to thank my wife for her always sage advice, which on occasion I take. When I told her that I was invited to speak here, she got nervous. She said, please, whatever you do not try to be funny. And then she said, please, 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 don't use the F word, the S word, the N word, the C word, the B word, the T word, the H word. She went through the entire alphabet in case she missed a word. I told her this was terrible advice for a stutterer since I spent my entire life avoiding words. Okay, some of you didn't get that, the parents, but the students did. And it was time for me to stop this nasty habit. Avoidance, as Vivian Siskin would often remind me, is the vault of fear and the refuge of scoundrels and cowards. It is the shame by which we veil our weakness and the cloak by which we cover our flaws. Actually, Vivian never said that, but I thought I'd demonstrate another common technique that stutterers use to avoid stuttering. Shakespeare is a favorite. So I want to say that Vivian, however, was not the first therapist that I had. Like I mentioned, I had my share of bad ones. One therapist suggested that any time I have to speak before a group, I should imagine everyone in the audience to be naked. When I was younger, this seemed like maybe not a bad idea, but as I got older, it made me feel creepy. So this other therapist told me to breathe from the belly and to hum at the beginning of every sentence. Sounded like a Gregorian chanter. And then my favorite of all was one who made me put a pencil across my mouth like this, like a horse bit, and made me talk for the entire hour. His theory was, once you take the pencil out, you would be relieved that talking would be really easy. By the time I met Vivian Siskin, I was exhausted, I was frustrated, and I was ready for anything. Rather than using tricks and techniques to hide my stuttering, she told me to do the opposite. She said, yes, stuttering is about fear and shame, but imagining your audience naked will not stop you from stuttering. Rather than undressing your audience, undress yourself. Stand naked before your audience and let them know that you stutter. Own your stuttering, don't let it own you. Be shameless about it and stutter with abandon. No more pencils, no more breathing techniques, no more hiding, no more tricks, and no more shame. And once you do, she said, when I invite you to give the graduation address to a group of speech and hearing graduates at the University of Maryland graduation ceremony, you'll be okay with it, and you will not poop your pants. So here I am, 25 years later, and poop-free. Thank you very much. So now is the time I'm supposed to give you some nuggets of wisdom, because everyone knows that no graduation speech is complete without them, right? So I decided not to bore you with a poem about holding fast to your dreams by Langston Hughes. Many of you have read that probably. or about A Path Less Traveled by Robert Frost, although there's probably a reason why that path is less traveled, so be careful. These are actually pretty good poems, and I encourage you to Google them when you get home. But I must confess that I have mixed feelings about advice. I've been given lots of advice over the years, and have listened to very, very little of it. What I learned is the funny thing about advice is that it's only appreciated in the rearview mirror. We learn very little from advice we get from parents, or elders, or even self-help books. Most of what we learn is done by doing. Not by reading The 7 Habits of Effective People, The Power of Now, Think and Grow Rich, and Finding the Secret. It is not about who moved your cheese, or who buttered your bread, or finding some magic recipe to make you your next million. It really is about doing. I don't mean to be a downer here, guys, but there are no shortcuts, no path to follow, and no recipe that I, or anyone else for that matter, not even Oprah Winfrey, can give you. But nonetheless, I feel that I would be cheating you if I did not share with you at least some advice. So here goes. I'll put together a laundry list for you, especially for the class of 2017. Number 1, do your laundry at least once a week. Too many piles of dirty clothes pisses off your parents, your partners, your roommates. Besides, piles of dirty clothes get smelly and moldy after 1 week. So, do the world and yourself a favor and do your laundry. Also, as an added bonus, did you know that anytime you hear a ding from the wash machine, an angel gets his wings? Avoid toxic people. That's number 2. And I mean anyone who gets in the way of you being your best. That means bosses, teachers, preachers, co-workers, roommates, lovers, relatives, whoever. Especially relatives. We all know who those bad hombres are. Number 3, surround yourself with 1 or 2 people whom you trust and able to share intimacy with. These are the people you call if you have a new idea, or if you find yourself in a bind. These are the people you call if you need to hide the body, or if you decide to move to Canada because you've had enough of Donald Trump and his love affair with Putin. And they'll tell you that this is a bad idea, you should maybe rethink it and join the resistance instead. Number 4, write a lot. If you have not already done so, write your memoir. It may not make the New York Times bestseller list, but it will help you figure out what matters to you and the moments that shape your life. It's a great exercise. You really have to try it. Number 5, read fiction. Lots of fiction. Fiction conditions your soul and connects you to the rest of humanity. 53% of axe murderers have never read a novel. They only read how-to books. I just made that up, but it's probably a higher percentage anyway. All right. Number 6. Okay, I want you to pay attention to this one. This gets complicated, okay? Put your life in perspective. We all know that the universe is big, right? But did you ever wonder just how big? Did you? Well, it turns out to be really big, okay? Did you know that there are more stars in the universe than there are grains of sand on Earth? That our solar system is but one of those grains of sand? And that the Earth is one of the smaller planets in that solar system, and there are over 7 billion of us, so-called humans, on this planet, and a teeny tiny portion of us are gathered here today at the University of Maryland Chapel that sits within that teeny tiny grain of sand that makes up our solar system. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I thought you should know. Also, I hope that maybe somehow, by knowing how really, really small we are, we can feel claustrophobic and more connected to those around us. Interesting theory, don't you think? Okay. Number 7. Be flexible. Accept the fact that gravity is something you cannot change. So when you fall, which you will on occasion, the best you can do is fall gracefully so that you don't break any bones. The more you stiffen the body, the less flexible you are, the more likely you are to get hurt when gravity pulls you down. Now I know some of you out there are control freaks. You like to have things in order. You believe that you can trick the universe and reshape it into your own vision. You're in for a rude awakening. I assure you, the universe will throw you a curveball when you least expect it. It may not happen today, or tomorrow, or even next year, but it will happen. And when it does, I want you to remember one thing. Remember that guy that spoke to you at your graduation? I want you to imagine a picture of me with a wagging finger saying, "I told you so." So, remember that. Number 8. Accept that life is not a path or a series of milestones and goals that somehow lead you to enlightenment. These are just mere distractions. If you need enlightenment, buy a table lamp. If you need to find the truth, stop looking for it. You're already there. Life is a wilderness of possibility. It is not a paint-by-numbers canvas. It's messy, and it's complicated, and it's intertwined and unpredictable, and at times mind-blowing and beautiful and exhilarating. Be there to experience it. Number 9, be easily amused. Pay attention. And if you do so, you can find solitude in the loudest places. Create symphonies where there is no sound at all. And if you're one of the lucky ones, you will learn early on to discover joy in the smallest things and look for the silver lining in the darkest of moments. And by doing so, you will learn to make peace with yourself and with those around you. And finally, in the words of Oscar Wilde, be yourself. You have no choice because everyone else is already taken. Thank you very much.